Hey everybody, welcome to my channel. Tony here, Tony's LPs Are Us. Trying to get a good look. We're in Studio B where we keep a lot of our Beatles stuff, our Bond stuff, and Dylan, and classic rock. Classic rock. We're in Studio B from Studio E, which is the Elvis little area that we film in, because I'm doing this little segment as a shout out to our friend and someone who I've been following for over 50 years, Jerry MOLLAND, one of the founding members of the classic lineup of Badfinger. He wasn't an original member, but he was part of that classic lineup that got signed to Apple Records. I guess via Paul was a big fan, but Mal Evans, their road manager, actually went on the road and was acting as a travel scout, as a talent scout, if I may. And he was also their road manager and did all that other stuff. Maxwell Silverhammer is supposed to be Mal Evans, but you can look it up all on Wikipedia or whatever. But Joey MOLLAND is gravely ill. His girlfriend Mary, his wife unfortunately passed away a few years ago. His girlfriend Mary just started a GoFundMe page in November because he became gravely ill and the expenses are not met by the current insurance that he has. So I'm going to try to link that GoFundMe page, but it's typical GoFundMe, www.gofundme.com, and it's GoFundMe support Joey MOLLAND's fight for recovery. Joey's girlfriend Mary started this when Joey became gravely ill in November. Again, health insurance does not cover their expenses. He's in need of constant therapy. But she says, thank you for all your love and support. Joey and I thank you from the bottom of our hearts. And it says, Joey will play again. So we're looking forward to seeing Joey again. And I got this email, this GoFundMe email from my good friend Pete, who's out there. He knows Joey and one of his good friends from college. Actually, we went to the same college. We're almost brothers from a different mother type of thing. But his good friend actually played with Joey. He's a great musician. He played with Joey. And I've seen Joey with, I think it was 50 years ago today with Todd Rundgren's band. And I think I saw Joey a few times down the shore. And he's been in and out of New Jersey, his whole career. But again, he was from the classic lineup that was originally signed to Apple Records. The first act signed to Apple Records, and then Apple Records kind of went defunct. And I remember those Badfinger records were like such a breath of fresh air. They were almost the second coming of the Beatles. They were called the Beatles, the next best thing to the Beatles. And the first record, I believe, was written by Paul, and that was on the Magic Christian album called Come and Get It. And Paul said to them, you have to play it exactly, Paul's in control. Paul is in control. And I hope Paul's watching this. I don't know if Paul knows that Joey is ill. I guess he does. And I hope Ringo's watching this. And I hope the estate, Sean and Julian and Yoko and the estate for George Harrison are watching this, because, Joey actually played on Imagine. Joey and Tommy. They played with Harrison and Bangladesh, Badfinger did. They were also the backing band, or the core of the backing band for George Harrison's All Things Must Pass, which is probably in the echelons of great solo records of a Beatle, one of the top five, top of a solo Beatle record, post Beatles. So much history there. I have a few notes here I just want to get out before I show the collection. And like I said, I don't know if I said it, but Joey is the last surviving member of Badfinger. Badfinger went through some really tough times. 2 suicides. I'm not going to go into the names, but 2 suicides based on depression, bad management. They lost everything. They were constantly getting ripped off by their management or by their record label or whoever was wearing a suit at the time. They sold millions of records. Like I said, I think I even vaguely remember Badfinger at one of the Beatle fests I used to go to in New York, across the street from Madison Square Garden, or Penn Station back in those days. Big hotels, Beatlemania was in full force, and Beatle fests were actually new. And I think vaguely Badfinger was there. I don't think I actually paid to buy a ticket to see them, but I believe they were there, or whoever was playing in the Badfinger band with other musicians. But 1969, first band to sign to Apple. Come and Get It by Paul was a smash. Backed up George Harrison, All Things Must Pass. Bad management led to tragedy. Basically, that was it. Now, the name Badfinger, interesting enough, came from a John Lennon kind of penned with a little help from my friends. Somehow it was a working title, was called Badfinger, and I have some more notes about that. It was from the song, or the working title, Badfinger Boogie, and he gave that name, or that name was suggested from the Ivies to Badfinger. And like I said, MOLLAND, Joey, was not a member of the original Ivies, but he became a member when they hit it big with the Beatles. And there's a lot of different members in and out, but Joey is the first founding member of the classic lineup that we all know. So again, Joey's gravely ill. His insurance is not meeting their needs. Obviously, he got ripped off. You know, he did some solo stuff that probably didn't pan out. He did work with the Beatles. He worked with George and John. Not sure if he worked on any Ringo solos or Paul solos, but he may have. But just a great musician, and more importantly, from what I read, a great guy. Like I said, he ended up with Todd Rundgren because Todd Rundgren produced one of their later albums when George Harrison was producing and had to leave to go do the concert for Bangladesh. I think he was wrapped up in those negotiations. So Todd Rundgren took over those productions. He's a lifelong friend of Todd Rundgren. I saw them with a few friends in Pennsylvania when they did a Beatle tribute called, it was 50 years ago today. I guess now it's like 60 years ago today or whatever. So this was a while ago. But if you can, check out the GoFundMe page. You know how to go find GoFundMe. It's a worthwhile cause. I think they're raising money again for his therapy. From the note that Mary wrote on the GoFundMe synopsis of what happened, she goes into what debilitating disease Joey has. He has trouble, I guess, in movement, trouble in motion. But she did stress, with our help and with God's prayers and with God's love, he will play again. He will be back to full strength. And let's hope that's the case. So this is just a little shout out for him. I told my friend Pete I'd do something on my channel. The few people that do watch this, spread the word. I do a lot of stuff about the Beatles on this channel. Most of my colleagues that have YouTube channels are Beatle channels. We have Beatle Babe. We have Beatle people from England that I talk to. Great channels. Rachel's Ghost constantly is doing things about the Beatles. She's a huge Beatle fan. I'm not even sure if she knows about Joey's plight, but she will now, because I'm going to basically send this to her and let her spread the word as well. So it's a GoFundMe page. And the title is Support Joey MOLLAND'S Fight for Recovery from his girlfriend Mary. So Joey's been ill since November, so it's a few months. If you go on Wikipedia, they basically, just want to straighten that out, basically talk about, how he was getting stronger, and then I think this is kind of a relapse. So just going to show some of my Badfinger stuff, and I'm going to show some of the Beatle records that Joey was actually on with Badfinger or by himself. There's the concert for Bangladesh. As you know, one of the first relief benefit concerts. Stones ended up doing benefit concerts for Nicaragua. We have Live Aid. We have all, on and on and on. But it all started with these guys. And if you go to the video, you'll actually see a few of the Badfingers playing acoustic guitar. Now, here's a great album. This is called Ass. Can we say that on YouTube? Yeah, it's Ass. So there you have the carrot and the stick. And here we have the classic lineup. Joey guitar, piano, vocals. Pete guitar, piano, synthesizer. Mike drums, vocals. All songs written and arranged by Badfinger, produced by Chris Thomas, except Todd Rundgren. All mixed by Chris Thomas and Badfinger. Just a great band, and they have no money. They're actually, hopefully something happened in the last couple of years with the attorneys for royalties, but they sold millions of records. Somewhere along the line, I saw, maybe they sold 30, 40 million records. Here's your original inner. You're going to see some great Badfinger stuff here. You won't see anywhere else. Here's the original Apple. I also have some of these sealed. It's a long story, but thanks to my job at the record store, I was able to get a lot of these records when Apple deleted these records from their catalog. Here's one of my prize. This is a great record. There's the Apple. And look at this. Full shrink wrapped with the hype sticker, straight up. Day After Day in Baby Blue. Day After Day in Baby Blue. And don't forget, Harry Nilsson and Mariah Carey had a big hit with Badfinger, a Badfinger song. So they're huge. And Jerry MOLLAND now is his girlfriend, because I don't think he's even capable. His girlfriend is crying out for help. There you go there. I'll show you the rear. Badfinger. This is produced by George Harrison and Todd Rundgren. So this may have been the album that I was talking about, where George got tied up with, I guess, Bangladesh, or maybe All Things Must Pass, but he kind of gave the reins over to Todd Rundgren. And we love Todd Rundgren, man. And also, Jeff Emmerich took over a lot of the engineering on the bequest of Paul, I think, for this band. So the great Emmerich, who actually talks about Badfinger in his book, which is called Here, There, and Everywhere, a great book. Here's another great one. I have one of these sealed. This is straight up. Beautiful cover for obvious reasons. This is also on Apple. I believe they also have records on maybe Warner or Columbia, but I'm not sure. There you go. Joey's there. It's like, come on, man. Help Joey out. Help him out. Help him out. Here's the Apple label for No Dice. The record No Dice. And again, I want to thank everyone for watching. I want to thank all my viewers and subscribers. This is for a really good cause. I don't know what else to say. It's a shame that the Badfinger legend has such a dark aspect to it, a really dark aspect to it. It was not just the blues guys and the early rock and roll pioneers that were getting ripped off by management. Here you have 1969 into the 70s. You have a English group that were the next Beatles, basically. They played like the Beatles. They harmonized like the Beatles. They even wrote great tunes like Lennon and McCartney, and they got ripped off. So no one is exempt from getting ripped off, like they said in The Godfather. A guy with a briefcase or a guy with a fountain pen can steal more money than a room full of men with guns. So they actually stole this. And I know other people that I even know that were in bands and big bands, and they got ripped off for royalties. But here's their first record, I believe, that was the classic lineup from The Magic Christian, which is a movie with Ringo Starr starring. And here is the Magic Christian label on Apple. Let me see if there's an inner sleeve. I don't have an original inner, but Mal Davis actually wrote the liner notes on this. I'll just read this for you because I'm trying to stress the importance and the classic history that this band has to today. So Badfinger are four. Tom playing bass and Joey playing guitar, both from Liverpool. So Joey's actually from Liverpool. Pete on lead guitar and Mike on drums, and both born in Swansea, Wales, so they're also Welsh. Badfinger are very close to each other, living together. Their life is playing together. On this album, featuring the 3 numbers they recorded for the Magic Christian film soundtrack, they offer you themselves and their music. So listen, as I have done, enjoy it and feel close to Badfinger. And that's Mal Evans, who kind of discovered them and turned Apple and Paul onto them. So again, it's a GoFundMe page. You go to GoFundMe, look up Joey Molland. It's MOLLAND. Joey Molland, his girlfriend is Mary. Like I said, his wife unfortunately passed away a few years back. Here's another record that they were on, the concert for Bangladesh. I think there's pictures of them in here in the booklet. I'll just show you the booklet really fast. This is a great album. If you don't have it, pick it up or listen to it online. You're going to see Dylan, the classic Dylan shot. This Dylan shot was actually used. This is from Madison Square Garden. This Dylan shot from his back with his curly type of afro was actually used in Bob Dylan's greatest hits. So if you see Bob Dylan's greatest hits and you're thinking, where did that photo come from? Well, that photo came from the concert for Bangladesh. And guess what? Badfinger, Tommy, and Joey from Badfinger were in that on that stage with Bob Dylan. Let me see if there's pictures here of the band. There should be, but Bob Dylan. That's a great shot of Dylan with George. Dylan is in the news again because of the great film biop, part fantasy, part reality. I can't seem to locate pictures of Badfinger, but I'm sure they're actually here. That might be, they're doing Blowing in the Wind. Maybe in the back, that's Joey and Tommy on guitar. I'm not sure. Let me see. Well, either way, they're on this record, so check it out. Joey Molland is also on this record, and that's why I reach out to the Lennon estate, Yoko, Sean, Julian. He also played on this record, the great Imagine record. And if you go over this inner sleeve, where you could see, looking. Joey and Tommy, Badfinger. Joey and Tommy, Badfinger, right there. So there's probably a photo of them on this really weird, spaced out inner sleeve that John Lennon, in his extraterrestrial capacity that was always interesting, always brought us in, always brought in, something to, to mystify and make it was the greatest. And we lost a great one when he was killed. And of course, All Things Must Pass. There's a booklet in here too. So there's a poster, the booklet. So Joey was on this record, as was parts of Badfinger, backing up George Harrison's great record, great album that was his culmination of records or music that he had written during the course of his tenure with the Beatles. And of course, because Lennon and McCartney were just like such powerhouses of writers, George maybe was lucky to get one or two of his own records onto a Beatle record, because John had his records, George has his records, Ringo was even thrown into the mix as a co-writer on some of them. But this is not about the Beatles. This is not about Harrison or Lennon. This is about Joey Molland. So if you can, go check out his GoFundMe page. I really appreciate it. I know he'll really appreciate it. And let's hope that Joey's touring again in some capacity, and he's able to get some money to pay his expenses and put food on the table, that type of thing. Because these guys made a lot of money for other people. They didn't make a lot of money for themselves. And you could go on Wikipedia. You could go on YouTube. There are specials on Badfinger, fan specials, documentaries that are authorized. And just, go to www.gofundme.com, Joey MOLLAND. There's a GoFundMe page that are trying to raise money to keep up his therapy and keep it up because the insurance is just not meeting the needs right now. So let me just show this. Day after day, Baby Blue, Without You, Nielsen's great. I just got the chills. Great stuff. Great. And that's a portrait is reminiscent of that great Beatle portrait that don't know who did it, but I believe right around the time of Sgt. Pepper's. But that's just, and I remember the caption, the Beatles wore mustaches or something. So here you have Badfinger looking very much like the Beatles, and there's right there. So if you can, please look into it. If you give $1, if you give $5, if all my subscribers gave $1 each, that's a lot of money to his family and to his girlfriend who's trying to make ends meet right now. I don't know his finances. I just know she filled out the GoFundMe page because, again, one day in the hospital could run you thousands and thousands of dollars. So try to help him out. Badfinger and Joey has given us so much in the last 55, 60 years, whatever it is. They started out in 61. The Ivy started out in 61. They opened up for a lot of great bands. Once Apple got involved, they skyrocketed. Come and Get It by Paul. It's a great tune. Badfinger, named after a John Lennon tune, or words in a John Lennon tune. So they got the pedigree, they got the talent, they got the songs. The songs are better than ever. So please check it out. What else can I say? Appreciate it. Keep rocking. If you like what you see, please sub, please like. What I'm going to do is I'm going to just hope that you can help. Whatever you can give, whatever you can help, or just spread the word. Share this video and let people know. Keep rocking. God bless Joey. Get well soon. Talk to you soon. Ciao.